Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottama Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods. Text number 28. We discussed this verse last Sunday, and we're going to continue discussing this because I could not complete the purport. It's a very big purport. Text 28. Tvam eka evasya sataha prasutihi. Tvam eka evasya satah prasutihi. Tvam sannidhanam. Tvam anugrahascha. Tvam sannidhanam tvam anugrahascha. Tvanmayaya samvrita chetasaha. Tvam Tvanmayaya samvrita chetasastvam Pashyanti nana na vipashchito ye. Pashyanti nana na vipashchito ye. Tvamyeka evasya satah prasutihi. Tvam sannidhanam tvam anugrahascha. Tvanmayaya samvrita chetasastvam Pashyanti nana vipashchito ye. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The efficient cause of this material world, manifested with its many varieties as the original tree, is you, O Lord. You are also the maintainer of this material world, and after annihilation, you are the one in whom everything is conserved. Those who are covered by your external energy cannot see you behind this manifestation, but theirs is not the vision of learned devotees. Please repeat this translation after me. The efficient cause of this material world, manifested with its many varieties as the original tree, is you, O Lord. You are also the maintainer of this material world, and after annihilation, you are the one in whom everything is conserved. Those who are covered by your external energy cannot see you behind this manifestation, but theirs is not the vision of learned devotees. I'll not read the purport, but we'll discuss the portion which we did not discuss last time. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Yat kripatamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So in this verse, it is explained by the demigods who are offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. They are praying to the Lord, you are actually behind this whole material existence, material world. You are behind this. You are the source, you are the creator, you are the maintainer, you are the destroyer. And you are the source means everything comes from you. And after destruction, everything is conserved in you. Actually, nothing is lost when destruction happens. Nothing is lost. Then what is destruction? Destruction is the elements which combine to form something. Destruction means the elements are separated again. Just like you take a piece of paper. Now, the paper is produced from wood pulp. Wood itself is coming from the earth. So, from the earth, all the ingredients are supplied: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And they are combined, and the wood is formed. That wood is converted into paper by some process. But if you burn the paper, you'll say the paper is destroyed. But what is actually happening when you're burning the paper? Actually, the elements are getting separated. The paper burns, so the fire element is separated. The very burning of the paper, the fire that is produced or generated from the burning, correct? That itself is the fire element that was there in the paper. Then some ash is left behind. That is the what element? Earth element. Then some water is there in that, some water element that will become vapor and become evaporated. Okay. And then the fire element, already I have told, the fire itself which was generated. And then space. Whatever space it was occupying, it is occupying some space. No, paper means, correct? Anything, any material object occupies some space. So that space is released to space, to the atmosphere. So the elements are getting separated when something is destroyed. Similarly, when the destruction of the whole universe takes place, material energy which was manifested as this different material varieties, that material energy goes back to its original state of material energy, unmanifest state, the state in which it was there before the creation. So, in that sense, it is being explained within Krishna only, everything is conserved. Material energy is his energy. It is his energy, means it is conserved always, it is present in him. That energy, which is manifested as the separated material world, that goes back to Krishna as the material energy which is conserved in him. So, therefore, the demigods are praying, those who are covered by your external energy, all of us, we are covered by the external energy, the illusory energy, the illusory influence, because of which we are not able to see the material objects as a combination of these 5 elements. Any material object, this table, what is it made up of? We'll say it is made up of wood. But you go one step back. What is wood made of? Earth, water, fire, air, and sky, or space. So, fundamentally, this table is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and sky. So, that we are not able to see. We cannot see because we are covered by the illusory, we are influenced by the illusory energy, we are covered by illusion. So, since we cannot see the ingredients which make up this table, we cannot also understand that those ingredients are actually a product of Krishna's material energy. And material energy belongs to Krishna. Therefore, everything in this world actually belongs to Krishna. Everything is Krishna's own energy. So, because it is Krishna's own energy, Prabhupada says here, the fact that everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the fact is that everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifested in varieties of energy. So you can say whatever we see in existence, material existence, is actually the same material energy of Krishna, simply appearing to be of different varieties. It appears to be of different varieties. But fundamentally, it is nothing but matter or material energy. So, therefore, in that sense, everything is Krishna. The energy and the energetic source are one and different. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the absolute truth. Absolute truth means Krishna, the person, with all his energies, varieties of energies. Krishna, the person with his energies. That is the absolute truth. Now, these energies are of so many varieties. And these varieties also are present all over the creation, all over the material creation, and all over the spiritual world. Everywhere is Krishna's energy. Everywhere. But Krishna is not everywhere. Means Krishna, the person, he is not everywhere. He is in his personal abode, Goloka Vrindavana. He is in his personal abode, Goloka Vrindavana, the Supreme Person, Krishna. But his energy is spread out everywhere. His energy is everywhere. Now, not only his energy is everywhere, even his personality, he expands in the form of Narayana. And that Narayana is present in every Vaikuntha planet, which makes up the spiritual world. Narayana is present in every Vaikuntha planet. And then his bodily effulgence, Brahma Jyoti, that Brahma Jyoti makes up the spiritual sky. So, by his bodily effulgence, he is all over the spiritual sky. He is everywhere in the spiritual sky. Then this material energy is outside of the Brahma Jyoti. So this material energy also is Krishna's own energy. But even in this material energy, Krishna is present when he expands himself as Vishnu. He enters into the material energy, and then the material energy begins to differentiate into the different elements. And those elements are combined by Vishnu himself to create varieties of material things. Vishnu only, first of all, he breathes out, so many universes come out in their seed-like form from his body. From his body they come out. So actually the source is Vishnu only, Krishna only. But Krishna in his original form as Krishna, he is not in this material world. So in that sense, Vishnu is for the purpose of this creation, maintenance, destruction of this material world. Vishnu has got only one thing to do. That is this material creation, maintenance, destruction. So Vishnu is not different from Krishna, but still as a person, he is completely apart from Vishnu, from Krishna. He is completely apart. He is independent. Krishna is independently engaged in his pastimes with his devotees in Goloka Vrindavana. And Vishnu is independently engaged in creation, maintenance, destruction, creation, maintenance, destruction, creation, maintenance, destruction. So it appears like Vishnu is a different person, Krishna is a different person. But they are not. Vishnu is Krishna himself, expanded for the purpose of this creation, maintenance, destruction. For this purpose specifically. That is Krishna's opulence. That even though without him this material creation cannot happen, he need not be involved in the creation. At the same time, he can be involved in the creation. Without him, it cannot happen. Nobody else can do this creation. At the same time, Krishna doesn't want to be involved in this creation. He has got his devotees with whom he is always engaged in loving pastimes in Golok Vrindavana. Eternally engaged. So, Krishna has got this, this special potency by which he can expand himself into multiple forms, innumerable forms. And those forms are he himself expanded. It's called Vishnu Tattva, expansions. So these expansions are innumerable. They are there in the spiritual world, they are there in the material world, they are there in every atom, they are there in everybody's heart, they are present in every Vaikuntha planet, they are present in everywhere they are present. So that particular potency of Krishna that nobody can understand how it is working. How it is working. And we say Krishna is in Goloka Vrindavana, but sometimes Krishna personally comes in his original form as Krishna, as he is present in Vrindavan. In that same form, he comes to this material world also. That's even more bewildering. So what is this form in the material world? That means when he comes here, he is absent in the spiritual world? No, again it's the same thing. he expands himself. He expands himself in a form which is identical to his own form. And that also he demonstrated when he was in this material world. When Krishna played on the flute, when he had once gone to the forest, middle of the night, because it was a beautiful Sharat Purnima night. Okay. So he, to relish that nice moonshine and the beautiful setting in the forest where nice breeze is blowing, very pleasing. All these are serving Krishna. The nice breeze that is blowing, the moonshine, and the river Yamuna flowing very nicely in the forest of Vrindavan. So Krishna, to accept their service and to reciprocate with them, he actually enjoys all these settings. So he went to the forest, and then on a beautiful Sharat Purnima night, he began to play on his flute. That flute is also serving Krishna. So he accepts the service. He plays on the flute. But that flute sound, that flute, very, very wonderful, pleasing music that is heard by all the other inhabitants of Vrindavan. They go into ecstasy. They stop whatever they are doing. And they completely go into ecstasy. The gopis, they also went into ecstasy when they heard, the young gopis. But they didn't want to just relish that just by hearing and being pleased with the music. They also want to dance with Krishna and serve him in that way. That also not for their pleasure. Okay. For the sake of pleasing Krishna, for the sake of serving Krishna, he's so nicely playing the flute. It'd be nice if we can actually dance and please him more. Not only appreciating the music that is generated out of the playing the flute. So they all ran to the forest. They all ran to the forest. And then Krishna said, "Why have you come in the middle of the night? This is not at all proper. Go back home. This is not the right time. And you come to the forest. Now wild animals may be roaming around in the dark. You can't even see them properly. Go back home. This is not the right time." So, but the gopis said, "No, we cannot go back home. We have actually forsaken everything simply for your sake. So, our existence is only meant for pleasing you. We don't care for anything else, anybody else. We have nothing to do with anybody else, actually." So then Krishna actually could understand how the gopis are totally dedicated for him, for pleasing him. And understanding their mind, they wanted to please him by dancing for his music. So then the Rasa dance. Now, Rasa dance, Krishna is one. The gopis are many. So when they began to dance, when he began to again resume playing the flute after they had come, then Krishna expanded himself into as many forms as the gopis. And those expansions are identical expansions of Krishna himself. Like that, even when Krishna comes to this world in his original form, that form of Krishna, which is the original form, is actually an expansion of the form in Golok Vrindavan. It's actually an expansion. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, all this is explained by giving different names for the different types of expansions. So it's difficult to understand when you read that first time, all the different types of expansions of Krishna. Prakasha and Vilasa. Now, Prakasha Vigraha, Vilasa Vigraha. Then different types of Prakasha, different types of Vilasa Vigraha. Like that it goes on. So many descriptions are there. But essentially, all these different expansions are meant for different purposes. Different purposes. And the original Krishna in Goloka Vrindavana, what is he doing? He is always engaged with his devotees in loving pastimes. That's his only business in Goloka Vrindavana. But then, Krishna also wants to deliver all the conditioned souls. Not only deliver them, that deliverance also happens by his incarnations in form of different expansions of Vishnu and Narayana in the material world. That deliverance happens. But he wants to attract, after this conditioned souls are liberated, he wants to attract them to come to his personal abode to enjoy with him in his pastimes with his devotees in Goloka Vrindavana. So for that sake, he expands in his original form as he is present in Goloka Vrindavana, and he displays those very pastimes by those very devotees also expanding when he comes here. Radharani is present in this Goloka Vrindavana with Krishna, always serving Krishna. But she also expands when Krishna expands and comes to our world, our material world, this earth planet. Radharani also expands for the sake of serving Krishna in his pastimes in this material world. Radharani expands. Nanda Maharaj, he also expands. Yashoda Mai, she also expands. The other elderly gopis, they also expand. The younger gopis, they also expand. The cowherd boys, they also expand from the spiritual world. So Krishna comes with all his associates. Not only his associates, he comes with his abode. That Goloka Vrindavana becomes manifested as Gokula Vrindavana. This Vrindavana, what we can now visit, the place where Krishna appeared and performed pastimes, that is now, we can say that is not Goloka Vrindavana, it is actually Goloka Vrindavana, but to distinguish it from the Goloka Vrindavana in the spiritual world, we call it Gokula Vrindavana. Gokula Vrindavana. So, like that, it is, everything is Krishna, but still we have to make a distinction between the original Krishna in the original Goloka Vrindavana and his personal expansions and his energies and the expansions of the energy. All of them are distinctly present simultaneously, always. Always, distinctly, simultaneously, all the varieties are present. And while these varieties are there, the original is never lost. Just like the material energy. The material energy is differentiated into so many elements at the beginning of the creation. But the material energy itself is not lost. Material energy remains. If you see in the Bhagavad Gita, the 24 elements description in 13.6 and 7. What is that verse? 13.6 and 7. Sixth verse. Mahabhutani ahankaro buddhir avyaktamevacha. So 23 elements we can understand what they are. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, the 10 senses and the 5 sense objects and mind and intelligence and everything, false ego, everything we can understand. But that comes to a total of 23. Count them, the 8 elements, and then 5 plus 3, plus the 10 senses and the 5 sense objects. 15 plus 8, 23. Which is the 24th element? Avyakta. What is Avyakta? Unmanifest state of the material energy. So material energy is there. Even after all this is manifested, material energy is as it is. So that is Krishna's creation. Krishna comes from the spiritual world to this material world in his original form. But Krishna is not absent in this spiritual world. He is always there. He never is absent from the spiritual world. So, like this, we have to understand Krishna, the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead. If we just understand Krishna properly, Tyaktva janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. So if we understand tattvataha, in truth, all that is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in great detail. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is given in very brief explanation. But what those 24 elements are, one verse, it says what the 24 elements are. But what is the details of these 24 elements, how they combine, how they actually are manifesting varieties, everything is there in the Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, Sankhya philosophy by Lord Kapila. So like that, the details are there in the Bhagavatam. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the secrets which are hidden in the Bhagavatam, explanations of the details of Krishna's personality, those secrets are revealed. The secrets are revealed. Just like Bhagavatam says, Krishna only personally incarnates as Narayana, as Vishnu. Now, what are the specific features of these different expansions? And what is the nature of these expansions of Krishna, incarnations of Krishna? Those details are given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Those details are not there in the Bhagavatam. So therefore, we should study Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then we can understand Krishna tattvataha. Evam yo veti tattvataha. Even in the 18th chapter, Krishna says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. No, not that one. Next verse. What is the next verse after that? Bhaktya mam abhijanati. You can know me only through bhakti. And bhaktya mam abhijanati. Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. You want to understand tattvataha Krishna. The only process is bhakti. And tato mam tattvato gyatva. What happens after you know Krishna? Tattvataha. Already in the 4th chapter he has told, but 18th chapter is summarizing those points in the other chapters. Vishate tadanantaram. After that you enter into my personal abode. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti. You attain me. Attain me means you go to Krishna in his personal abode. Vishate tad anantaram. That personal abode of Krishna. So, we are all meant, this Krishna conscious movement, Prabhupada says, is meant for us to go back home, back to Godhead. And how is that possible? By bhakti. And this bhakti involves knowing Krishna tattvataha, not some speculation or some concoction or some imagination. No. In truth, in reality. So those truths are all explained in the Bhagavatam, especially in the form of prayers by different devotees. Because the devotees are all realized souls. They know Krishna tattvataha. These prayers are offered by the demigods headed by Brahma. Brahma is a realized soul. So Brahma's words, actually, Brahma's prayers actually contain details of who is Krishna. So in this prayer, he's telling Krishna is actually the original cause of this entire material existence. Krishna is the maintainer, Krishna is the creator, Krishna is the destroyer. But those who are covered by the illusory energy, they cannot understand. But those who are learned devotees, vipaschitaha, they are able to see properly that even though there are so many different immediate causes, the ultimate cause, last class I explained, efficient cause. Efficient cause is the cause. All other causes are secondary causes or subsidiary causes. And they are also dependent on the original cause. Okay? Just like the potter's example I gave, I'll repeat that. That ingredient cause of the pot is that clay. But clay itself will not transform into a pot. A potter has to transform it. This material world is made up of material energy. But material energy by itself, it will not transform into this material varieties. Krishna has to transform it. And for that sake, Krishna enters into this material energy as Vishnu, Karanodakashayi Vishnu. So he has to do something for it to happen. And then through the agency of the Devatas, he makes it happen through their agency. Through the agency of the material energy, he makes some things happen. Through the agency of the Devatas, he makes something happen. And he himself, as Vishnu, he is doing something. You see? So all this tattvataha, the truth, we understand through these prayers. So that's the significance of these prayers offered by different devotees throughout the Bhagavatam. This way we should study. So I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.